for a very large corporation, but I manage a branch office, and we often talk about operating that office like it's our own business, because that's what the customer sees is when they walk in that door. I agree with you. We expect our employees to treat our customers like they're, their very best friends, walking in the door and giving them excellent customer service. And I do too talk to them about taking ownership in the success of that office.
I've had several different businesses that started in my career, and I guess the ones that worked out the best is where the employees just felt like they were part of the team, they were contributing, and then I never hesitate to hire people smarter than me. The smarter the employee, the better. And then let them, have, enough rope that they can go out there and do what they think is best. And I'll just manage by exception. When something pops up or blows up, I'll deal with that. But I can do that if I have a really good team. And I think that teamwork is, they're not employees, they're members of the team. And that makes a big difference. And like I said, I always treated them really good. Everybody got, all the benefits. And I started one business in Alabama, and we had 3 manufacturing plants, and we manned them with people out of the coal mines, and these were all underground coal miners. And they were so loyal. I had one guy chase off, the skinniest guy that worked for me was a forklift driver, and he went out there with a 2x4. The union, the miners' union, was demonstrating, trying to unionize the company. He went out there with a 2x4 and chased them all off. I mean, it was incredible, the loyalty that employee group had, and it's because they treated them right, and they were good people.
Many of you have given us something, but this question is asking, is there any other specific organization or tool that you would recommend that you haven't spoken about already tonight? Any organization or tool that you would recommend for someone in this position of starting a new business?
On the surface, it may sound like I'm disagreeing with Reynolds, but I believe in gathering a big team, and I am really thrilled to pay a CPA or an attorney, because I'm to the point with my businesses. My CPA, who's been in the game for 40 years, told me that last year my taxes were the most complicated taxes that he did. And that actually made me feel really good. But the point is the bigger your team, I love what he said, hiring smarter people than you. That's pretty easy for me. But you hire really smart people and you pay them well. The biggest problem you can have is to try and cheap it out. These people that aren't willing to spend money on their business die. I mean, it really does take money to make money. And that's where the bank's important. But man, you've got to get a good team. And for me, going it on my own, it would be really, really tough. I've had so many brilliant opportunities presented to me by these different team members that have actually made me more wealthy because I had an association with somebody. So I really like the concept of a big team and an expensive team, actually, because then they know what they're doing.
Something I found along the way, it's not about money. Who are your mentors? And one mentor isn't going to cover everything. Have a mentor in business, have a mentor in different aspects, but find who your mentors are. Really listen to them and work with them, because they're going to help you build that team and find those resources. But your mentors, find them and keep them. They're big.
Ours were, we did a lot of networking. We found out, we kind of looked around and said, okay, well, people who are interested in buying their milk from the farm are also people who are interested in buying their peaches from the peach orchard and their vegetables from a CSA farm. And So we networked with as many farms as we could and got the word out. And I think really knowing how to find people who are doing similar things, so you don't have to reinvent the wheel, but they can give you a lot of support and encouragement and, you know, just to help you. They didn't feel threatened by us. We were doing something a little different, so we just networked together and really, it made a big difference for us.
I think the network and mentor comments are both great. They've been, phenomenal, and that's just about building relationships, human to human, right? Getting to know other people, and it's amazing how much help people will give you if you're just a decent person.
We have 5 minutes left, and we have time for 2 more questions, and so I'm going to, we'll have just 2 more, and I promise we'll get out of here by 1/4 And I want to thank you for all of your wisdom tonight. This next question, I've got 2, I think we'll do this one first. How do we ensure that corporations and the larger of businesses don't force small businesses out of business? Now, if you have a really good answer, we're going to copyright it. But it's an interesting question.
It's extraordinarily relevant in my life. I mean, corporate dentistry is on the uptake because it's cheap. It's like pharmacies 100 years ago. I mean, mom and pop pharmacies no longer exist. To me, corporate dentistry, can I use the word sucks? The problem is that you lose the intimacy between your caregiver and the individual, and the person who really makes the decision is the capitated insurance company. So, for me, how do I keep the corporate guy out of my life? I literally bend over backwards to be a friend to my patients. I don't know if you came, we sent an email to all my patients. We ended up buying 1,000 tickets to a Hops game 2 weeks ago, and we bought everybody burgers and hot dogs, and we watched the game together. Were you there?
We were there last year.
Okay. Well, we do this.
We can go this year. It's really fun.
We try and connect. People say all the time they treat people like family. I don't believe that. Most people use the word they. They won't let me do this, or that can't be. These rules can't be violated. Man, I do whatever it takes to make the patient happy and to further the relationship. I had one patient. I'll give you an example. There was no fault on my partner, none. The case was about $3,000 case. The woman didn't understand. We gave her money back, and she's been a patient. Her family's been continuing to come for the last probably 6 or 7 years.
For the record, it's not me.
It's not this one. But the point is, she really believed that she was wrong. Now, I could have said, you're nuts. Look at the evidence. Go ask 4 other dentists. They're going to tell you you're nuts.
Did you have a filter?
But in reality, the customer is always right. And the more that you can understand that and not use the they concept, the more you can touch your customer, the more you can connect on an intimate, personal relationship level. Corporate dentistry will not have an impact on my life. Now, the odd duck is going to say, hey, my insurance is cheaper this way. And I talked to an optometrist at Jack in the Box the other day. Are you the dentist down the street? I said, yeah. And he goes, tell me about advertising. And I told him, he goes, well, I came into your office one time, but you don't take my insurance. I don't take anybody's insurance. I mean, we'll bill your insurance and we'll take what they say, but I'm not signed up on any plans. Because the only person that benefits that is the insurance company. Most of these things, they want you to not charge for X, Y, and Z procedures, and then they want you to discount procedures. So for me, it's best not to see you but 1 once a year or once every 18 months, because then I can finally make a buck on you. It's not any good. So to me, it's about being a
Been going to it
friend.
for 20-plus years.
To me, it's about being a friend. And hopefully that relationship is more important than you might save 20 bucks in your insurance, right? I hope that's right.
Yes.
Okay.
It really is, unfortunately, for small businesses, it's knowing your community and being a part, doing stuff with your community. Because government is always gonna go based off of big business, trying to get them under control or penalize them will always penalize the small business in the end. And you just gotta figure out how to make it work. But if you keep that good relationship with in my case, my parents and my children, maybe having to pay just slightly more than if you went to a corporate school or something might be worth it, because we do work in the community, we live in the community, and we're part of the community versus somebody who's not. And so it just may be one of those things to trade off with who you serve. Is that, yes, is a small business slightly more sometimes? Yes. But unfortunately, because everything's based off the big corporations and they can make everything really cheap, we can't always do that. So it's just knowing and building relationships.
Yeah, for us, we're a niche market, we're a specialty. You can go to Costco and buy your milk in the gallon jugs, and it probably comes, it's good milk. It comes from a cow
White?
who is somewhere maybe in Oregon, Idaho, and it's from probably a large-scale dairy farm. And so that's fine. I mean, our dairy farm is not going to produce all the milk that Washington County needs. We need big farms. But for us, it's just, we want to do it on a small scale, treating our cows the way we want to do it, you know. And if that appeals to a lot of our customers, that we're doing it kind of that old-fashioned way, and we took the middleman out so that we're in charge of the pricing and all of that, then that's to our benefit. It's just being a part of our community and people wanting to know us, so.
I don't know, I read a book one time, it's called The Discipline of Market Leaders. Some people at Bechtel gave it to me, but it basically says there's three types of companies out there. There's either companies that are very customer focused and make their money and reputation by being customer focused. And an example they used in the books was Nordstrom's, right? You come into Nordstrom's, you know, you get really good personal attention. Or you're technology focused, you're an innovator, and that's how you make your money and beat out the competition. And then there was one just, you know, you're terribly efficient. You're like FedEx, and you know, you're able to deliver that package cheaper than anybody else, and that's how you thrive. When you think about a small business, I mean, it's going to be hard to be super efficient, you know, because you're never going to get the breaks that some of those really big purchasers get. You know, technology-wise, I mean, that's going to be a real challenge too, unless you're a genius. So it seems to me it almost gets back to, you know, the niche play, like we were talking about there, and the customer focus, really knowing your customer and being close to your community. I think that's how small businesses will best survive.
I think that was a fabulous answer. We're 5 minutes over. This last one's important, so I'm going to have it out there. If you're dying to answer it tonight, great. But this is something that you could send to me, and I promise to pass it on. They're asking if there is any regulation or law that you think helps business and especially small business, or is there any regulation or law that you think hinders especially small business? It's pretty specific.
Well, recently there was the tax on corporations, right? The lay public didn't quite understand what that meant. Corporations don't pay their fair share in taxes, so it was an extra $150 that they pulled out of all corporations. The thing that, and so that's an irritation for a small business. You have to pay another $150 for no good reason, because believe me, I pay my taxes. It may not come through the name Century Dental, but it comes through Dix Densley. And now I have to pay my taxes through Dix Densley and throw $150 at the state for this, because the general population didn't quite understand what was going on there. And so, you know, people like you can stand up for us and say, let's be really understanding of what the small business guy is going through. So that's a small, $150 isn't that much.
But we don't want to pass it on.
The
to
concept
customers
is the
either.
same, yeah.
We try
Okay, so that's one that, please feel free to write letters, emails, call, and we can continue this conversation. But I want to honor the night and the time we said we'd be done, and I thank you for staying 5 minutes over in class here. So thank you very much.
I just wanted to add one final thought. It was we really appreciate the panelists being here, but I think the common thread or common theme that we see are people that I personally tell my son, you know, when you decide what you're going to do for a living, you got to be able to swing your legs out of bed and be able to enjoy it and be able to do that. And you're talking to people that are very passionate about what they do and that they enjoy it, and they've been doing it for years, and they're providing a service. So I think that is something that's real core amongst all of you. And I, again, thank all the panelists and thank you for being here tonight.